this right here, that's equivalent to popping them points on this set right here, which you had no position. So Maytag did this in the last years of production, confirming that they figured out that there wasn't any need for a tool, so they just added those pins, made it easy. But I say easy, actually, this is not good, because if you would like to run your engine, operate it at a lower RPM, then you have to change this right here. Okay, when you change this right here, just kind of visualize this right here again. And if you was going to change the RPM, then you need to change the timing. Timing is before top dead center, and that's how many degrees that it ignites the fire before the piston reaches top dead center. On this set of points right here, you can move it either way a few thousandths here, which translates into degrees of timing or advance. You've got that much movement. If you had a pin right here, then you cannot avail yourself of that flexibility. So that's the reason you take the pin out. That way you can adjust these points, as long as you maintain that the rotation, the arc that these travels in, as long as you keep those in a fixed position outside of that arc, then that little roller will not hit this. I say this, it will not hit this pivot point. So that's the way it works, and it's that simple. I'm just saying, the problem is, no matter how good it looks, you cannot tell what is inside this coil by the appearance on the outside. But I've got this wire disconnected right down here. It's not making contact with anything at all. In the spark plug hole up here, the voltmeter down here, set it on about 20K or so. Use a probe, put it down in there, put your little electrode on yonder, poke it down in that spark plug hole right there, and then the other end of the voltmeter, you put it to make it touch the laminations. You see that I've got nothing, absolutely nothing that you can do to make that have anything. That's bad. We're going to change it out. A good one, I'll show you a good one right here. Y'all see this one? That's what we're going to replace it with. It don't look too good. I mean, it's okay, a little rust. But if you were to probe, I'm gonna put it aside right here. If you probe down in that spark plug hole on this other one over here, I have to put the electrode on it and put down in there, and then when you go on to that lamination part right down there, you see I've got about 55,300. That's very good. This is a very good coil. So the project for the moment is to change change the coils out, and at the same time, let's just go ahead and take these points from this backing plate. Let's just go ahead and take them off, so we can look at them, and then we'll put them back on there without any jig. We'll just put them on there. Let's get them out of the way. Kind of verify that there's no adjustment has been made. So we get these out of the way, and I'm going to change the coils out. With the coil changed out, if we run a test on it in the spark plug hole and then to the ground, we should have, oh, you can't see it, to the ground, we should have, and we do have 55.3, 55.4, 55.300. Oh, this is a very good coil. The only other test left to perform on this coil, this is the secondary we was testing with the 5500. The primary you'll only get about a 1, if anything, on the primary. And you just connect the lead to the output and to the laminations, and you should get a, well, you should get a, see, we had a 1 and it went away. That's what you should get. Basically 1, probably a little meter, adjustment meter, it'll level out at 1. So this is a very good coil. That's the test. There's nothing more complicated than that. It's a voltmeter, 99 cents. That's all you need to test these with. If it's bad, then there's nothing else you can do in here. I'm sorry to say, if you've got a bad coil, you're going to have to get a replacement. I'm sorry to say. You know, your old coil, no matter how good it is, how good it looks, rest in peace, coil. Now, you do need to keep these outside housings, because when you do get a coil wound to go inside, you have to have a core on these right here. So you do need to keep those. The points, do not forget the 1/2 and 1/3 rule. When you put this set of points up there, this is the assembled set of points. To install these set of points without the tool, within just a very few degrees, this is how you do it. Is you just remember to visualize that hole at the top in the center, close to the back. Just don't give it a couple extra thoughts, just do it. It's 1/2 and 1/3 rule. Remember that. Just position that set of points onto those 2 pedestals. You just start this screw right here, just kind of visualizing in your mind where that hole is at in there. I mean, you can see it. And then when the other one, you can see it really good, and you can now I can position that one exactly where I want it, and that right there is where it's at. That's 1/2 that way, and I find it easier to get my dimensions this way by coming over, making contact with a screw, and then backing it up. What I think is just a thousandths or 2. I'll remove this screw, look in the hole yonder, and it did not move, so it's where I wanted at. So now I'll just go put this screw right back up in there and then cinch it up tight. And basically now you put them tight. If I use the jig right here, now this is where the logic part comes in. If I use the jig to set this backing plate, then that is, if I was running the engine at the recommended RPMs under a load most of its time, that's what this engine was meant to be, run under load. You just didn't start it up there underneath that washing machine and let it run for nothing. It was built to use. So when you lower the RPM, and that's where I say it's a positive that you do need to use. You don't need. You have to know the RPM of the engine in order to set the governor on it. This engine turns, the flywheel turns clockwise rotation. So what you would do in order to lower the degrees before top dead center is you would move this point in an arc that on that same plane, just a very small amount. Oh, that was a little too much, but I can make it go backwards. Okay, now I'm just doing this by feel, but I just wanted to move it just ever such a little bit on the get-go, because I do know that I'm going to run this engine at a lower RPM. And once I set the RPM, then I'll possibly come back in here and reset this just by the timing. That's how it's done. There's nothing. All I'm going to do now is the hook up. I'm going to hook up these two, the condenser. It's a .22 at 630 volts. And that's another thing. You can go up or down 1 or 2 microfarads in the engine with the coil in the system and all the interference. It's not going to make any difference. If it don't apply to you, just pass on. Pass it to a friend.